On the last Top 5 Friday video, I asked you guys to like the video and I set a goal of 2 likes, and I just want to say you guys destroyed that goal. So we will be giving away a digital copy of Leatherface in this video. So make sure you guys stick around and watch the video closely because it will flash upon the screen. If you are lucky enough to claim this digital copy, please leave a comment down below saying, hey, I got the digital copy, so everybody else doesn't waste their time. And Leatherface, pretty solid movie. I actually liked it a lot. It has a little bit of hate, but I thought it was a cool, like almost like Rob Zombie Devil's Rejects type of movie. It was pretty cool. Separate it from the franchise and you'll enjoy it. If you look at it as too much of a prequel, you're probably gonna hate it. Anyway, we will have a digital copy in tomorrow's video as long as you guys meet the like goal of 3 likes. So we're going above and beyond the 2 likes, so hit it with the 3 likes and we'll have a code in tomorrow's video. That's right, you're getting 2 Top 5 Fridays this week because I missed last week. So with that said, check out the end of the video. I'll let you guys know what I'm giving away. Not the best title in the world, but hey, it's free. So anyway, let's get into Top 5 Fridays. Welcome back to Top 5 Friday. Today's Top 5 Friday is Top 5 Psychological Horror Films. This was picked by Derek. Very interesting topic because as I began Googling, I just started jotting down tons and tons of psychological horror films that I love. So it turns out that I absolutely love this subgenre. I didn't even realize how much I love this subgenre. There are a lot of good movies. I can make many, many more top 5s specifically on this topic. But we're only limited to 5 this week, so I had to cut them down, and the rules that I used this week, very simple. For one, I tried to lean more towards the psychological horror film versus the psychological thriller because those two subgenres go really well together. Psychological and thriller do fantastic work together. They are linked up many a time. But I tried to pull myself away from the thrillers, even though there's a ton that I like, and tried to lean more towards the horror aspect. There are still some debatable ones in here, but I just couldn't let them off the list. So first up on the top 5, I actually did something interesting. So this film that I'm picking here is actually a movie that I've only seen one time, and I probably could have swapped it out with about a dozen other psychological horror films. And the reason that I left this on the list versus those other films is because I do think that I would like it more with rewatches, and 2, my lists have been very fan favorite heavy lately, and I wanted to throw one in there that maybe a lot of people have not seen. I still do very much like this film, but I probably could have swapped it out with something I like even more. But I wanted to put a film that not many people talk about on the list. So with that said, let's get into this number 5 here, and my number 5 is 2002's Malefic. Malefic is such a bizarre film. I actually had not really heard anything about it, and back when we were doing the top 10 of 2002 podcast and we were trying to watch all these films from 2002, I came across Malefic, and it's actually a film that's heavily out of print now. I think you're going to pay about $30 for a DVD. To my knowledge, it's only been released on DVD. But it is a French film. It's hard to find. I found a copy from a friend who burned me a copy and let me watch it that way. And basically, it's about these 4 prisoners who are in this weird, bizarre prison, and they find a book in their cell buried in a wall that has all this black magic ritualistic stuff in it. And they begin to do these sort of spells and rituals and stuff, and things get very bizarre. It's a very, very interesting movie. There's like a weird female transgender in there with them. I don't know. It's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre movie. If you've never seen it, check it out. It's intriguing the whole way through and has a really interesting ending. I highly recommend checking out Malefic 2002, and it actually made my number 10 spot in my top 10 of 2002. Coming in at number 4 is a film that I just watched very recently for the first time, and that film is Black Swan. This is a awesome film by Darren Aronofsky. I have it here on Blu-ray. Black Swan is from the year 2011, and it follows Natalie Portman's character, who is a very talented yet reserved ballerina, and she gets the coveted role of the Swan Queen in the ballerina dance thing. I think it's pretty popular. I don't really know what it is, but and with the black and white swan, she has to play two characters that are very different from each other, and she begins to befriend this other ballerina who's played by Mila Kunis and might have like a lesbian relationship thing going on there. And as she's trying to balance these two characters and truly become the black swan and truly become the white swan, which she's very good at being the white swan, but she needs to kind of change the way she perceives and acts and things and turn into the black swan. And man, this movie is just super psychological. It's super beautiful. It's a super well made film. It flies by for being a long running time film. I absolutely loved this movie when I first watched it. It is absolutely an amazing movie. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. It is top-notch quality. Coming in at number 3, we have Martyrs from the year 2008. 2007. This here copy of Martyrs, my homie Godzilla actually hooked me up with, because the unrated version of Martyrs is actually a little hard to get in the US now. It's a little out of print, so he got me a copy from Canada, sent it on down. Thank you very much, Dylan. Okay, so Martyrs is an absolutely fantastic movie. It follows this girl who was abused in her childhood. She now grew up and she wants to get revenge on her captors. Now, the captors seem like a ordinary family, and you're kind of wondering, is this all in her head, or are these people actually the ones who did this to her, or is she going insane? She teams up with another girl that she met in an orphanage, and they begin to home invade on this family. A whole bunch of things are revealed. There's some twists and turns. There's some definite psychological mental strain going on between these characters, who seem to have a more than friends relationship with her, with each other, a more than best friends relationship, maybe a love interest relationship. It is just a movie that goes in so many dark places, in so many interesting places, that I absolutely love it. And the very end of the film is even more psychological. It is just psychological on top of psychological on top of psychological. It's a very brilliant film. It makes you feel pain. It makes you feel anguish. It is just one that's going to punch you in the stomach. Martyrs is a very intense film. It's very good. It's a 10 out of 10 to me. I highly recommend checking out Martyrs if you never have. Stay away from the American remake. It's just a toned down version of the original. Coming in at number 2, we have Frailty from the year 2002. I have it on Blu-ray here, courtesy of Lionsgate. Frailty follows a young boy, his little brother, and his single father as his father begins to lose grip on reality. One day, his father comes home and says that God wants him to kill demons because they are infesting the earth. Now, demons are just regular people who his father says has committed some sort of sin. Now, the boy is very skeptical of his father, obviously, and begins to try to plot to get out of this situation along with his little brother. This movie has fantastic performances by Bill Paxton, Matthew McConaughey. It is an absolute amazing movie. It was my number 1 of 2002, even though technically it came out in 2001. We kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit. But I just love the story in this one. From front to back, it is just an awesome story. I think Bill Paxton actually wrote this. It is so good. Rest in peace to Bill Paxton. He was one of my favorite horror actors, even though he didn't do a ton of horror films. Anytime I seen him in a horror film, I absolutely loved him. This movie is great. The God's Hand Killer, such a cool concept. It really is a very intense movie. Like, it has a lot of craziness going on in it. It's very, very good. Coming in at number 1, we have Psycho 2, 1983. I have it here on the Scream Factory Blu-ray. It is a great edition. Check it out if you don't own it. Now, you guys might be wondering, why on earth did you pick Psycho 2 over Psycho 1? And the reason that I picked Psycho 2 over Psycho 1 is because, yes, Psycho is a very psychological driven horror film. But you don't really know that until the end. And then it puts everything in perspective. Yeah, technically, it's still very psychological. I get that. But I picked Psycho 2 because the whole entire movie makes you question what's going on with Norman. Is he crazy? Is he not crazy? And I just love that dynamic. This movie, watching it for the first time, absolutely blew me away. Especially the final scene. The end of this movie was shocking to me. And I didn't think that they could pull off a shocking ending that rivaled the original Psycho. But Psycho 2 does that. Granted, it does not have as much impact once you know the ending. Most endings don't. But it does lose a significant punch after you know it. But the first time you watch Psycho 2, I'll never forget how much it floored me, and I absolutely love Psycho 2 for that reason. So that's it, guys. That is my top 5 for psychological horror films, and I want you guys to know that I appreciate your support for this series. I really want this series to be successful because I have a blast making it. I hope you guys enjoy watching it, and I hope you guys are enjoying the digital copies that I've been putting in the video. Speaking of which, next week, if we hit that 3 like goal, then I will put a copy of Death Race 2050 digital in the video somewhere. So yeah, not the greatest movie in the world, but whatever. Anyway, it's cheesy fun. So see you guys next week. Actually, tomorrow. We're doing it tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow with episode number whatever. We're doing top 5 witches. So that one should be fun. See you guys then.